Well, I guess Matt Eberflus knows how to develop a quarterback because Caleb Williams had his best game ever as quarterback of this team. He passed for 298 passing yards, had 4 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 0 sacks against Eberflus's defense. He scores 31 points, and the Bears win by a score of 31-14 to go to 1-2 on the season, get their first win of the year, and also get Ben Johnson's first win ever as head coach of this team. What's going on, guys? I'm back with another Chicago Bears post-game reaction video, which I'll be doing after every single Bears game this year. And oh my goodness, man, that was by far the best case scenario for this game. The Bears destroyed the Cowboys, okay? In the third quarter especially, they really ended this game with that big drive that they had, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But they really showed me that they are still going to be competitive in 2025, okay? After that horrible game against the Lions in which our toughness got questioned, we allowed 52 points, got destroyed from beginning to end. The media was harping on us. Bears fans were thinking it was going to be another lost season. Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams bounced back in the best way possible, okay? They put together multiple long scoring drives. They broke out the trick plays. There was a fantastic flea flicker, which I'll talk about in a little bit. That was a fantastic play, which helped the Bears, really win this game. And Ben Johnson was super aggressive in this game, and he put his foot on the gas pedal and willed the Chicago Bears to a victory. They needed this game so freaking badly because, guys, now the season is back on track, okay? If we can win next week against the Raiders, we can go to 2-2 on the season before the bye week. And being 2-2 before the bye, honestly, I think any Bears fan would have taken that, entering a season with a new head coach, a new offensive scheme. And, we knew it was going to be a little bit rocky at times, especially with all the injuries, right? So, especially losing Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon for a good amount of time too. I think any Bears fan would be happy to be 2-2 entering the bye. And I can't assume that's going to be a guaranteed win already, right? Because, anything can happen in the NFL. But, coming off of a dominant win like this, I'm much more confident the Bears are going to win next week and they can turn their season around. Because, my God, man, this game really showed me why the Chicago Bears hired Ben Johnson and also why they drafted Caleb Williams at number 1 overall. This was just a small glimpse of what they're capable of. They're not even close to being as good as they're going to be later this year. Caleb Williams passed for 298 passing yards. I think he had 240 in the first half, or whatever the stat was in the first half. He had a crazy amount in the first half. He had 4 passing touchdowns and, best of all, 0 sacks, which is also an offensive line stat. The offensive line did so good in this game. They gave Caleb Williams fantastic big pockets to work with. So shout out to the entire offensive line. They kept the penalties low as well. But Caleb also did a good job getting the ball out quickly, getting the ball out to multiple different guys. He hit 4 different receivers for the 4 passing touchdowns. And, he was just doing a really good job in terms of pocket awareness, feeling the pocket, not taking any unnecessary sacks. I mean, he did a fantastic job. He was super accurate for the most part. He still did miss a couple throws. There's a throw to Rome Odunze that he missed on the sideline, which it just shows you he can be even better. He's not even close to a finished product just yet in year 2, but he has such tremendous ability. You saw his fantastic arm on display on that flea flicker. I mean, he unloaded a cannon of a pass down the field to Luther Burden. Just showed off his arm strength. That ball was only in the air for 2.9 seconds, according to the NFL. So, I mean, it was a bullet of a pass, guys. It dropped down immediately into Luther Burden's hands. And that was not even a good pass back by DeAndre Swift, right? That flea flicker play could have very easily failed because, Swift kind of bobbled that, when he was trying to give it back to Caleb. But thankfully, Caleb just unloads that cannon down the field as soon as he's getting hit. And it's a big time play for the Chicago Bears. And a play like that, guys, is what just changes the momentum of a game, right? Because the Bears score so damn quick and it catches the Cowboys by surprise. Eberflus did not see that coming. Nobody on the Cowboys defense saw that coming because Luther Burden was so wide freaking open, right? So just fantastic play call there by Ben Johnson and fantastic execution by Caleb Williams, getting that ball deep down the field. And for all the people that harp about Caleb's deep accuracy has been fantastic so far this year. He's actually been one of the best deep ball passers in the NFL. So that's clear progression and growth from Caleb right there already. And obviously that flea flicker was amazing. There's also a bunch of other plays in this game in which Caleb got balls into tight windows. He just unloaded the ball really fast and showed the velocity he can get on the football. Okay, he is a very skilled thrower of the football. I know he needs to improve sometimes in terms of accuracy, but he can unload a cannon of a ball down the field, in the middle of the field. And I think best of all was that today he really displayed his ability to read a defense because he got the ball to so many different guys in this game. 8 different players caught a pass in this game. 8 different players caught a pass in this game. That is crazy. I can't remember the last time that's happened. Luther Burden caught a pass. Obviously, Rome Odunze caught a pass. DeAndre Swift, Colson Loveland, Olamide Zaccheaus, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, and Kyle Manangai. So, first of all, that shows the fantastic depth on this Bears team in terms of receiving weapons. We have so many good receivers. We have 2 really good tight ends. We got 2 running backs that can catch the ball as well. So, good job in terms of assembling this weaponry for Caleb Williams, but good job on Ben Johnson to incorporate all these guys, and good job on Caleb Williams to really spread the ball out to multiple different guys. There's been so many questions from Bears fans about how are we going to use all these fantastic receivers that we have. Do we have too many mouths to feed? Well, in this game, Caleb fed every mouth. Okay, everybody ate. Everybody got a touchdown for the most part. I mean, Loveland could have been used a lot more even, but he had a 31-yard reception to basically begin this game, which showed off his tremendous receiving ability. And Cole Kmet had a touchdown. Luther Burden had that touchdown. Rome Odunze had a touchdown. DJ Moore had a touchdown as well. I mean, it's so damn exciting to see a Bears offense like this. It reminds me so much of 2013, if I'm being honest, in the season with Mark Trestman, where we had so many guys go off and the offense was doing so well every single game. The defense really hindered us that season, which could be the same thing this year. But it's just so fun to watch an exciting Bears offense like this. And Caleb Williams deserves so much credit because this dude has been hated by the media, hated by NFL fans, even Bears fans, so damn much over the last year, okay? Fans have said that he's been a bust already, which is completely stupid if you look at what he did last year, okay? He still put together a very productive year, but there's been so much hate in the media from media guys like, for example, Tyler Dunn, that released an article basically stating that Caleb had no interest in really watching film and teammates didn't respect him. I mean, all that stuff was complete bullshit, as you guys know, but fans entertained that stuff because we weren't seeing results, but now we're seeing the results. Okay, we're seeing how talented of a quarterback Caleb Williams is, and I'm gonna defend my damn quarterback. Caleb Williams is my quarterback. He's your quarterback. He's gonna have a great season this year. In this game, he showed off what he is capable of. And on the year, guys, Caleb Williams now has 7 passing touchdowns and only 1 interception, so on pace for a 4,000-yard passing season through 3 games so far, and on pace for a lot of passing touchdowns as well. Hopefully Caleb can keep it up. But talking about Ben Johnson, guys, I want to talk about him as well in this video because his offensive scheme was a major reason why we won this game and why we scored so many points. He was scheming guys wide freaking open during this game. I mean, there were multiple plays, especially in the first half, in which guys had so much separation. Guys like Cole Kmet, guys like Rome Odunze, they were just streaking down the field wide open with nobody even close to them. And credit goes to the players for even making that happen. Credit goes to Caleb for hitting these guys. But I mean, Ben Johnson really showed his brilliance in this game in terms of combining different routes, combining different patterns, and really confusing a defense because Eberflus was not even close to being on the same level as Ben Johnson in this game in terms of the chess match that went on. And that's another reason why I'm so happy we hired a brilliant offensive-minded head coach instead of a defensive-minded head coach, because these things are going to happen, okay? When you have one of the best offensive minds in football going up against a guy like Matt Eberflus, like more often than not, he's going to find a way to attack that defense, and that's exactly what he did in this game. The flea flicker was a brilliantly drawn up play. He caught the defense completely by surprise, and I think the drive of this game, the drive which really showed me how tough the Bears are and really showed me that the Bears are going to be a competitive team this year, was the drive in the third quarter, okay, in which we had 11 straight rushing plays. 11 straight rushing plays. We took all the time off the clock in that third quarter, and that was a drive that the Bears have lacked in the past 5-6 years. Okay, we have lacked that drive in which we can really impose our will on the other team, waste a lot of clock, really just keep on running the football and chewing clock when we have the lead. Okay, we have lacked the ability to finish games with drives like that, but that is what Ben Johnson did in this game. It wasn't just like because of the running backs. It was because of Ben Johnson's creativity. I mean, he came up with so many different ways to run the football. He had DJ Moore going on runs to the outside, on like end around types of plays. He had Kyle Monangai finally getting some carries, just bulldozing up the middle. Kyle Monangai had a couple nice carries. DeAndre Swift had some bad carries, but also had some good carries in this game, especially on runs to the outside. So, you know, he found a way to get everybody involved, and he found creative, innovative ways to move the ball down the field through the ground game, which I have to give him credit for that, because with how limited our running backs are, in my opinion, like we don't have a star running back. It really takes, you know, creativity and genius to find a way to run the football, and that is what Ben Johnson did in this game. He stuck with the run game. He did not abandon it after it wasn't working in the first quarter. He stuck with it, and that's what helped the Bears win this game. And another thing on that drive, guys, was that he went for it on fourth down, which is something that Eberflus definitely would not have done. It was 4th and goal. A field goal makes it still a 2-possession game. A touchdown makes the game pretty much out of reach. Okay, it puts the Bears up by 17 points. And you already knew that Ben Johnson was going to go for that touchdown. He doesn't want to stick with field goals. He wants to win football games. He wants to impose his will on the other team. He learned that from Dan Campbell, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. For example, in the week 1 game against the Vikings, it didn't work because we didn't get enough fourth down. But as the season progresses, guys, as Caleb gets, you know, better and better, these plays are going to work. Okay, going for it on fourth down, it's going to work a good amount of the time, and it's going to help the Chicago Bears win football games. So I just love the aggressiveness so much from Ben Johnson in this game. He really played to win the game instead of playing not to lose like Matt Eberflus did so often, and it really showed me like what differentiates him between other former Chicago Bears head coaches. So just brilliant game by the Chicago Bears offense. I know I mostly talked about Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams, but so many other guys had good games in this one. The offensive line had a really good game. Luther Burden obviously had a fantastic game. He had a breakout game. He had 100 receiving yards. He had that big play down the field and that flea flicker. He had a couple other plays as well. Colson Loveland finally got involved. Roma Dunze, per usual, got in the end zone again. He has 4 touchdowns on the year. Fantastic stuff from him. If you look at the box score, DeAndre Swift only had 33 rushing yards, average of 2.5 yards per carry. Monangai only had 16 rushing yards, average of 2.7 yards per carry. So the run game still kind of worries me, okay? We were able to get that drive in the third quarter, but the run game still has to be better. But overall, the Bears did more than enough to win this game on the offensive side of the football. But talking about the defensive side of the football, it wasn't pretty in the first half. They were allowing a lot of big yardage, especially through the ground. The Bears could not stop the run game. They were getting no push up front, no pressure on Dak Prescott. They allowed 14 points in the first half, but because of takeaways and because of timely plays made in the second half, they only allowed 14 points in this game, which is really damn solid for all the injuries that they are having. Kyler Gordon did not play in this game. Jalen Johnson, obviously, we know is basically out for the season. So These are big time losses. TJ Edwards also didn't play in this game, but even with all those injuries, the Bears defense did a pretty damn good job closing out this game. And a caveat here is that CeeDee Lamb did not play the majority of this game, so for sure missing your number one weapon is going to hurt the Cowboys, but I still think that if CeeDee Lamb did play this game, the Bears still would have won, okay, with how much they're doing on the offensive side and with how the defense in the second half, I mean, they were getting pressure on Dak Prescott. They were forcing so many turnovers. Talking about the turnovers, I mean, Tyreek Stevenson started it out with getting that forced fumble in which he basically ripped the ball away from that ball carrier, and that was just a fantastic play made by Tyreek Stevenson. He did not give up on that play, even though it's going to be a big play for the Cowboys. He tried to steal that ball away, and that's exactly what happened, and that really changed the momentum of this game, because coming off of that first drive, the Bears offense was really bad. I mean, I think they went 3 and out, and the Cowboys offense was doing big things, down the field. And if not for that play, they could have scored a touchdown. So great on Tyreek Stevenson to get that pick. Tremaine Edmonds had 2 interceptions. I think both were basically off of tipped balls. At least the first one was. But yeah, Edmonds used his long arms to stretch and get the ball in for the interception. And it really showed you what he's capable of as a defender. I mean, he has those long arms, right? So if balls are deflected, if he can be out there in coverage and be in the right place at the right time, he's going to get these interceptions. He had a really rough 2024, so good to see him bounce back with a fantastic game in this one. And then Kevin Byard had the interception on one of the last plays of the game against Joe Milton, just sitting there in the end zone, got gifted that ball. So, big time play by him. And any game in which you get 4 interceptions, you're probably going to win. So, in my pregame video, I talked about the Bears needing at least 1 pick in this game. They got 4 of them, or at least 4 turnovers, right? So really proud of the Bears defense for fighting and clawing their way to a victory in this one. And talking about some of the individual guys, I mean, Deshaun Wright, obviously had his struggles, but Tyreek Stevenson, for the most part, I thought held his own, which was really impressive to see Tyreek, make a lot of big time plays. We finally got pressure on the quarterback too in this game. In the second half, Dominique Robinson, surprise, surprise, had a sack. I almost forgot he was on this team because he's been so bad for the Bears, but he had a big time sack in that second half to really force the Cowboys to punt. Montez Sweat also finally showed up. He had a sack in that last quarter to, really ice this game out as well. So good to see the Bears defense finally showing up and doing big time things. I mean, the interceptions, the fumble, the sacks, getting pressure on the quarterback, they closed this game out. Even though they were missing guys, they found a way to close this game. So credit to Dennis Allen's unit for their effort in this game. And lastly, talking about special teams, also a big shout out to the special teams, because for once the special teams was actually solid in this game. We had a couple nice returns. Torrey Taylor had a big punt in that last quarter to pin the Cowboys deep and really chew a lot of clock because they were pinned that deep. So, nice to see Torrey Taylor really, throw it back to his Iowa days and get a big time punt down the field. Cairo Santos nailed the field goal. Perfect on the extra points. So, all in all, it was a team victory, and that is what it takes to win games in the National Football League. Shout out to Caleb Williams, shout out to Ben Johnson, shout out to all the guys that made plays on the defense, and shout out to the Chicago Bears for finding a way to win. Leave your comments down below, guys. What do you guys think about this game? Do you guys think the season is back on track? Do you guys have faith in Caleb Williams going forward? Do you think the defense can be better? Let me know down below. I'm so happy the Bears won. I needed this so freaking badly. I love to see the post-game speech that Ben Johnson made. If you haven't watched that yet, it's probably on YouTube right now. I would encourage you to watch that because it gave me chills watching Ben Johnson get so hyped, watching the team get so hyped. I mean, this Bears team still could be pretty good, okay? It's very early in the season, and this was the type of win we needed to really turn it around. Leave your comments down below. As always, bear down.